everyone, my name's Danielle and welcome to another episode of Board Game Bakes. This week we're going to focus on a new Crimes and Capers game, which is, and the winner is dead. I just had to add in that dramatic flair. So we're going to make food to once again accompany the murder mystery party. We did Lady Leona's Last Wishes before, and we're going to do a similar thing, except we're even going to up it a little bit because we're going to make 3 appetizers, 1 cocktail, and 1 dessert. We're going to make macaroni and cheese bites, onion and gruyere Palmiers, little steak sandwiches, a Chicago cocktail, and fancy rose cupcakes. We've got a lot of work to do, so let's get started. Time to mix it up and do some savory dishes. There's a fun mix of fancy here and macaroni and cheese, but it's macaroni and cheese bites with bacon, so that makes it fancier, right? Let's give macaroni and cheese even more pizzazz. Start by making a coating for the bottom of the tins, because we're going to make them in mini muffin tins. Melt 2 tablespoons of butter over medium heat. Once it's melted, add in 1 teaspoon of garlic and give it a stir until it becomes fragrant. Add in 3/4 cup of breadcrumbs and 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. Cook this for 4 minutes until it gets a slightly brown color. And while you're doing this, you can multitask and start boiling your water for your noodles. To prepare your cheesy sauce, melt 2 tablespoons of butter over a medium-low heat. Add in 2 tablespoons of flour and stir it continuously as it cooks until you no longer smell flour, because you don't want to taste the flour. Yuck. Slowly add in 1.5 cups of milk to your mixture while stirring. It should start to thicken at this point. Add any seasonings if you want. I chose to just go with the cheese flavor, but there's plenty of other ones you could add. Add 1.5 cups of cheddar cheese and 1/2 cup of mozzarella cheese slowly. The cheese here is a bag cheese, which can make it a little drier, so additional milk was added to help loosen the sauce. Cook 8 ounces of elbow macaroni until al dente. Once they're drained, you could add them to your sauce and stir it to make it evenly spread around. As you can see, the mozzarella makes the cheese a bit stretchy. Dump in 1 whisked egg into your mixture, and this will make it more stable once you bake it. Spray your mini muffin pan with Pam and push down some of those breadcrumbs. Now you're going to put your cheese mixture on top of it, and you want to push it down because you want to get as much crunchiness on the outside. Sprinkle it with some crumbled bacon. Yum yum yum. Cook at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 7 to 10 minutes. Let them cool a little bit before you try getting them out so you don't burn your hands, but then you're ready to enjoy. Time for our Palmiers. These are cheesy, oniony goodness with puff pastry, so they're buttery goodness too. The start of the process is a little slow since you have to caramelize 4 onions, which always takes way longer than I think to get them nice and brown and give them a depth of flavor. Add butter and oil to the pan and let it heat up before adding the sliced onions. The oil helps the butter not to burn. Heat them on medium-high until they become translucent, then go low and slow, like really slow, until they're like this. Now the best part, defrost and roll out your puff pastry. So much easier than making your own. I caramelized 4 onions, which was enough for 4 pieces of puff pastry, but you can easily do 2 and only use 1 box of puff pastry. Spread 2 cups of shredded gruyere cheese over the puff pastry on top of your onions. Now you're going to roll up with the long side until you meet the center and repeat on the other side because you're kind of supposed to look like elephant ears. Wrap it up and let it chill at least 30 minutes so that it's easy to cut into slices. Once chilled, cut into 1/4 inch pieces and place them 1 inch apart on a baking sheet. Bake at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 12 to 15 minutes until they're nice and golden brown. The bottom may darken a bit from the cheese, but they are still very, very tasty. Let them cool a minute before serving. To round out our savory bites, we're going to make a tasty steak sandwich bite. We're going to make this easy on ourselves to get the steak just right and done at the same time as everything else without having to be perfect at cooking steaks. To do this, we're going to sous vide them. Or we're going to do it with things you can find around your kitchen. So we're going to cheat. You mainly need Ziploc bags, a large pot, and a thermometer. Simply prep your steaks with some salt and pepper. Whatever cut you want to use will work. We happen to have some New York strips for this. Then put each steak individually in a bag and push out all the air you can. Make sure the meat is at least completely touching the plastic with minimal air. Then we're going to throw these into a large pot of water that you have sitting at about 135 degrees. To keep the temperature water that low, you'll need to use the smallest burner you have and adjust the temperature to keep it as close to 135 as you can, which will give you a medium rare. You could go for more doneness if you want. Keep an eye on it though, because this is for 2 hours and you want to make sure that it doesn't go below 130 degrees or above 140 degrees. Once finished, take the steaks out and dry them off. The nice piece about doing it this way is that you can take them out when the steaks are ready to match everything else. It can all be done at the same time. We're going to put softened butter on top of a split baguette and put in the oven once everything is out to melt and refresh the bread. While that's in the oven, that's when you'll get everything else ready. All you have to do is put a nice sear on your meat in a hot pan with some oil. You don't have to cook the meat, just get it so it's nicely colored. This way you don't have to be an expert at cooking your steak. It won't be a perfect color, but it should be close to the doneness you want. Finally, cut the steak into slices, place it on the bread, and cut it to manageable portions and serve. You don't want it too big because these are supposed to be like a little bite of steak. Yum yum yum. For our cocktail, you can't have a fancy party without a fancy drink, so we're going to make a Chicago cocktail. This is basically just a fancied up champagne. You can make this with a nice bottle of champagne, but the nice part here is that you don't have to. A relatively cheap bottle of champagne of whatever style you like will work. Simply put a dash or a quarter ounce of Curaçao, a dash of Angostura bitters, and 3/4 ounce of cognac into your shaker of choice. Add ice and shake. Shake, 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 shake. Then strained into your glass of choice. If making the drink traditionally, you'd put in a sugared frosted coupe, but it looks just as fancy than a champagne glass. Then simply top with your choice of bubbly, and you have a nice elevated yet simple to make drink for your fancy party. Bubbles. When you watch award shows, they are often handed beautiful bouquets, so we're going to make a much tastier version of this. Since this is a fancier version, let's try a from-scratch chocolate cupcake recipe, which may actually take less time than the box cake version. Minus the dishes. We make this even without a mixer, which makes it even easier. Put 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour, a 1/2 cup natural cocoa powder, 3/4 teaspoon of baking powder, a 1/2 teaspoon baking soda, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt in a small bowl and give it a thorough mix. In a large bowl, add a 1/2 cup granulated sugar, a 1/2 cup packed light brown sugar, 2 teaspoons vanilla extract, a 1/3 cup vegetable oil, and 2 room temperature eggs. Whisk it until it's nice and smooth. Now you're going to alternate adding your flour mixture and a 1/2 cup of buttermilk. Start with the dry, then add half the milk, etc. If you don't have buttermilk, which I didn't have, you can make your own by adding a teaspoon of vinegar, and then you fill up the rest of the way to the 1/2 cup with milk. Let it sit 5 minutes before using. Only stir your mixture until you can no longer see any flour clumps. Don't overmix. It'll be a very runny batter. Pour the batter into the cupcake liner so that they are half full. Bake 18 to 21 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Let them cool completely before icing. For the icing, add 2 sticks of softened unsalted butter and 4 cups of powdered sugar into a mixing bowl with the paddle attachment. Mix on medium speed until it starts to come together, and you'll be able to tell because all of a sudden it'll start clumping together and look like frosting. Add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and you're going to continue mixing, and you could add 2 tablespoons or more of milk as needed to get a good spreading consistency. If it's too thick, it's not really going to come out of our piping bag. Divide the icing into 2 bowls. Dye half the icing red by adding red food gel and mixing it until it's a uniform color. You can always add dye if you need to get darker. I cheated and kept the half I wanted to dye in the mixer, so I didn't have to do the mixing. Mwahaha. Prepare a piping bag with a 1M piping tip. Put the white icing on one side of the icing bag and the red on the other side. This should have a cool mixed color effect. To make a rose design, start at the center of the cupcake and spiral out from the center while gently pushing on the icing bag. Repeat to get a nice bouquet. If you want to try and create the bouquet feel, wrap tissue paper around bubble wrap and give it a nice tie of ribbon for a final touch. Thanks for watching another episode of Board Game Bakes. I hope you enjoyed our sort of from savory to sweet to kind of in the middle. So it's fun not just having a dessert, getting to try something new. Have you ever tried a murder mystery party before? Now you have the food, so you're ready to host. Now you just need to get the game. In the game, they have little packets for all the different characters and a box unlock, so it's kind of like a mystery party / escape room, and looks like a lot of fun. For more information about the game, there's a link below to Renegade Games website. Currently it's available for pre-order, but it's coming out really soon. Let me know in the comments below, have you ever tried a game before? and which one's your favorite. Thanks for watching. Keep playing games and keep them sweet. Bye!